Hi all, welcome back to another video on web methods. So in this video, I will walk you through how to implement CI/CD from scratch. So for this CI/CD, which is called as continuous integration and continuous deployment. So we will be using couple of components for it. But the prerequisite is at least we need to have more than one server. So I've already downloaded one more server on my laptop. And also we would need some third-party tool called Git Bash. So the thing is, like, if you have a valid license for local service development, you can commit the code. So generally, Git is used for committing your code. It's called as source version control. So you can use that to commit your code to the repository. And finally, I need Jenkins. Jenkins is a tool which does the deployments and all those things. So basically, there will be no manual intervention. Only thing is we just need to set up the jobs, and that jobs take care of the deployments whenever there is a commit happen to the Git repository. So let's see how this can be done. And also one more thing. So there is a software AG repository which is provided. So I'll be using those software AG repository assets, and I'll clone those assets to my Git and then modify it according to my requirement, and then use those in the Jenkins pipelines and deploy my assets to the other environment. So without any further ado, let's start. So I have downloaded one more server on my machine. This is my first server and this is my second server. First server runs on 5555, second server runs on 7777. So, and also I've downloaded Jenkins, and this is my Git bash, and this is my Jenkins. Okay. So this is my Jenkins I've configured to be used as service. So if I go to my services.msc, I should find the Jenkins here. Just give it a minute or two. Parallelly, this is configured as a service, and even I configured my software AG and other things to be daemon so that the server survives the server restarts, laptop restarts and all. So you don't need to go and bring it up again. So it is, I mean, same thing can be configured in Unix. So I don't have a Unix box with me. So I'm doing every of the demos in my Windows machine. So let's start. Prior to this, I've created a Git account in my GitHub also. This is my GitHub. This is my dashboard. And as I said, I'll be using the software AG repository, right? So how do you do it? So just go in one new tab, /software AG. Yeah. So software AG has provided some assets is what I said. So just search here. And this is one project. So this is one software AG webMethods sample project layout. You can copy it to your own repositories and do it. And other one is software AG to CI assets is what it is mentioned. So this is one more thing. Yeah. So this internally uses the deployer to connect and deploy all the assets. Yeah. If I now go back here and show you something, there are notes also like how do we use this. Yeah. So it says there are clear notes here in this. Is to enable the continuous integration for your web methods project. You can set up your infrastructure in minutes and deploy flawlessly. And the installation is if you are using your own Git assets, you can just use this command to clone this to your local desktop. And you can set your own Java path directory. The recommendation is to set the software AG1. And you need to add two variables, which is your SAG home and SAG CI home. And you need to configure the pipeline jobs also. Yeah. So I'll show you step by step how to do it. So now let me go back here. As I said, I have my own GitHub here. So GitHub repository, I'll just go to fork. Fork is generally to copy from one location to other location. And I'll give this. I'll copy this thing and click on create fork. So this creates a repository in my personal account. See, it is creating one fork account here. And now I have two repositories. See, one repository, my personal one, and this is the software AG project layout. Now I wanted to like say commit something into this. I don't want it to go every time to the Git repository and then commit it or make changes to this, or if there are any issues, I don't want it to come here and do it. Instead, I wanted to do it from my local. So how to do that? Just click on this and this, click on copy. Go to your any directory of your choice. So I'll keep this as repo. Yeah. And I'll click on this and click Git GUI here. You can use Git Bash or Git GUI if you're comfortable with the command line tools and all. You can use that. I'm comfortable with Git GUI. So give it some time. It will open a dialog box. Also, let me parallelly open my designer also. I've installed designer as my separate component instead of installing with the server, so that even if I uninstall, the designer still stays. So I'll be cloning the repository which I just copied. Yeah. And let's copy this name. Create a local directory in my system. So I've taken this and just give the path to be this thing and just click on clone. So it creates a local copy of what is there in the Git. So it has created everything here. And see that this is done. Yeah, it is cloning the assets. Just have some patience here. Now this is done. Now if I go to this web method sample projects, these are all the details that are present here. The thing is, I noticed some things I'll show you. So this is the Groovy script, which will be used by Jenkins. Yeah. So it will have a build stage, deploy stage, and test stage. And this has something called software AG home, which we need to configure inside the Jenkins by environment variables, which we saw in that, and the software AG CI home also. Yeah. I'll show you how to do that. And what I noticed is in the So Jenkins will throw errors if it is not committed properly, not created properly. So what I'll now do is I'll just delete this and also commit this file to the repository. We'll go back here. The location again. Yeah. See, I'll get the GUI here. So it shows these are the changes that have been done and that is not committed yet. So I'll click on stage change and write a message change build.xml and click on commit. Comments are mandatory or else it will throw errors. Push. Now this I'll push the thing to the remote directory, the remote location of Git. Click on push. See, now this is done. Now if I go back to my Git and check here, right? Show me that the Git has been changed and the comment should be displayed here. See, build.xml, it is changed now. So I have pushed my changes from my local to the Git repository. So this is how you commit the code from one local to the Git repository. So, and just waiting for this to come. And also, let's parallelly copy the other repository which they showed. They said we need to have this CI CD assets also to be there in our system. So I'll just do the same thing. Copy this. The new CI CD scripts. Yeah. Oh, and get the GUI here. Clone the repository. Now I'll open a repository and I'll give the same name as before. Same name as the one which is there in the site. Go here, click this. And remember, you need to mention a folder. Let's say a separate folder other than CI/CD. If I give clone, it says that the folder already exists. See? So that's the reason you need to give a new name to it and click clone. So it is still cloning now. And these are my two servers. Let the clone happen in the background. See, the cloning is complete. Now we will see what is there in this. So you have the build that has the build details and all how scripts are there in it. So this doesn't cause any problem because the comments are below the XML version. In the previous one, it was above the XML version. So it would throw errors. So these are the details. Yeah. And it calls the ant scripts in our system. Yeah. The AB is already installed in our system by default. So we need to change couple of parameters here. I'll open the properties file. Go here. It's your home. Integration server instance is default, but in my system, I didn't keep the default. Instead, I kept my own name there. SAG, integration server, instances, and Abhijit. There is default. So just go back to the scripts again. Sorry, not DB scripts, CI/CD scripts. Go to system and change the to your own thing there. Yeah. And I will keep this as is, and my other server is running on 7777. So this will be my build server and this will be my target server. Now I'll save it. I don't want to commit this because I'll be using this from my only local. So now these two things are done. Let me go to Jenkins now. So where is my Jenkins? Jenkins runs on localhost 8080. That is where I have created the port. Remember, when installing the Jenkins, be careful and give the name as the password same as the build server. Just give it some time, it will come up. Yeah, Jenkins has come up. Yeah. And use my own password as this thing. And I will click on sign in. Just give it some time. It will be a bit slow. So now I need to, as I said, I need to set up some parameters. Go to manage Jenkins and click on system. Let's barely copy this. This thing. This is needed. Wait for some time. Come. So if you scroll down, you have a section called environment variables. So I have set up the variables which were mentioned here in the build, right? Somewhere it was saying as SAG underscore, yeah, this is SAG home and SAG CI home. So I need to set this up. SAG CI home is this. Yeah, I copied the structure, I mean the folder value and all. And SAG home is DSAG. Let's save this. So when that is done, and one more thing I think I'll need to check here is in the SAG assets. Yeah, you need to check whether these are coming correctly or not. So for example, if I copy the location from here and directly paste it, see how it comes like this, right? So you need to use the other slashes here. So now I've set this up. So let me see what are the packages available in my this thing and which are not available here. See, I have Fibonacci something here. So let me keep this EDIFF demo package in that location and see what happens. Yeah. So the packages, copy it from here. SAG integration server instances default packages. Copy it and go to your repository where you have downloaded. So which is Git repo, sample layout, the assets, go to IS packages, place it here. So now we have placed it here, but we didn't commit yet to repository, right? So the GUI, see, there's all the changes now. Let's taste the changes. Yes, continue. Now, right, see if we don't commit, continue, don't enter the comments. So it says complete a message. Demo. Yeah, commit it and push it, push it. So now we have pushed the change to Git repository. Time to check. So sample project again, assets, IS, and packages. See, my EDIFF demo is committed to this location, which Jenkins will use as a source to pick the file from here and push it to the target repository. So how do I do it? Just go to Jenkins now, and I'll create a new item. I'll say CI/CD. To select it as pipeline job. Click OK. Say CI/CD. And you have an option to set up the build triggers and all those things that you can set it up here. But for now, I'll show you the other things. So we can automate the deployments also, which you need to check here and give the schedules. See, if you give the schedules or even poll on SCM whenever there is changes, and see, if you want to check in for how many times you need to see for every 15 minutes, if there is any commit, go and check it. So if there is something, then it creates a build by itself and run it. So now I need to create the pipeline. So once let's say in this example, what I'm trying to say is, I'm just trying to show how we do the auto deployments without using the deployer. So now I'm coming down, and here come down to pipeline script. Remember, there is a pipeline script already provided by SAG, which is this one. So I'm going to call this from the SCM, which is source version control. Yeah, SCM is Git, and give the repository URL. How do you give it? Go here and go to your repository. Copy this thing. Back to your Jenkins. See, and I can create the credentials. I have already created the credentials. If you wanted to create new, just click on add, and then you can check it. Like say, where do you want it to create the credentials and all? How you need to place it here. So I've already created the credentials using that. Click this, and I'll give the Jenkins a script path, which is a win file. Click apply, save. So now we were configured everything. So moment of truth now. So what you need to do is click on this build now, and let's wait to see if anything is happening. The build job is triggered. So it is progressing now. Leave it for some time. Since it is doing for the first time now, it might take some time, but the subsequent builds will be faster. Wanted to see the console output. You can see here. See, it is taking the console from there. It is doing all these things. Okay. Starting to read the packages. Committed one, which I committed just now to Git repository. It's reading the packages. The build is successful, and it is trying to deploy to the target location now. Yeah. See, the build is completed. It is completed. I go here. So see, it has checked it out. It has created a build. Now it is deploying the package to the target system. And you can ignore the test. It invokes the test suite or something and all those things. So you can remove this test one also. Yeah. So now if I go to my package target system and refresh it, see, PDAFF demo has come here. So this is how you do the deployments. So let's see one more thing here. You're saying you some other thing. So let me create a project again. Say it as WM2 launch pipeline. Click on OK. And I'll poll SEM. See the schedule, what they are saying. For every 15 minutes, right? So it is saying I need to keep like this, but I don't have the patience to wait for every 15 minutes. Instead, I'll keep 3 minutes per hour test case. Yeah. So if there is something, then pick it up. If this configuration is correct, then this should work. On this thing, set the script. It say them the location, right? You need to give this and this path. Credentials, same thing. Yeah. Jenkins stuff. Click on apply. See. So now what I'll do is I'll just copy one more package. CG. Server instances. See whether this will work or not if I copy multiple packages. E it repo. This thing. To the sets. Yes. Yes. Paste these things here. Yeah. I'll get the Git GUI here. So all these things can also be done using local service development from designer, but I don't have the license and all. So that's why I'm not able to see it. Packages to Git, it, click on push to master. Yeah. So now in Jenkins, I'm not going to do anything. I'll just wait for the build to happen and see whether that will trigger something or not. Yeah. Well, let's go and check here in this. Go in my repository, sets, IS, packages. See, everything has come. So if our configuration at Jenkins is correct, then it should trigger a build for us. See, it has created its own job. Thing happened, but yeah, let's give it some more time and see what happens. Sorry, the pipeline is not run yet. The project is created, right? Let's give it some more time. 1642. started the deployment building on its own. There was one in queue and it is doing the checkouts and all these things. So let's wait for some time. Hope you guys didn't go for a coffee break when I asked you to wait for some time. So it is creating its own deployment and it will build it. To all those things. You can check the uh, console here when it starts. See, it's already starting it. If we go and check our console, check out all the packages which we asked it to take. See, it's taken all these packages now. And the yeah, it deployed. Time for the reality check. Previously it was there. Now let's refresh. See, all these packages. So this is how you do CI/CD with Jenkins and GitHub. Thank you.